Hi, good afternoon. I wanted to talk briefly about self-sabotage. Isn't that a fun topic? But I think it's an important one because that's one of the things I had to stop doing when I was healing from trauma, from things that were bad in my life. I would very often sabotage myself without even realizing it. Just because you're coming from a space where you don't feel very worthy. And so you don't stick up for yourself. You don't want good things. You kind of inadvertently reject them because you're not healed yet. And I used to do this a lot with relationships, especially where you just kind of expected what you've always been used to, whether it's the right thing for you or not. And you don't really try to grow or change or do something different. And honestly, to get past self-sabotage, you have to do some healing on your own. You have to be alone. You have to be okay with that, for one. Sometimes being alone is kind of scary. You have to kind of own up to the things that were done to you, but also the things you yourself were doing that were against you. And then you have to forgive both the other person, the people who wronged you, and yourself to get to where you're in a place where you're okay with the blessings that God is trying to give you. And it's funny because sometimes if you are not healed yet, you can actually even get the person that you prayed for, the person that God made specifically for you to satisfy everything in your life, to satisfy every need, every want, the perfect person for you. And you can see them and say, no, I am not ready for that. I can't handle that. It can't be true. And all of the things, when it's actually, God was actually answering your prayer. And you can sabotage it and go for someone else, someone really unworthy, someone trauma-laden and chaotic and a mess, because that's what you've been used to. That's how you've worked. And so that can be your cycle. You don't have to keep doing that cycle. At any point in your life, hear me, at any point in your life, you can heal. You can decide to let God in to heal your soul. You can become humble instead of ego-driven. You can. It's a choice that you make, and it's not an impossible or a hard choice. You can stop doing evil and you can start doing good. You can heal, you can grow, you can change. And then God always gives another opportunity later when you've done the work. Until you've done the work, you're going to have the same thing over and over again, and you'll never get the fulfillment that you want. And that's how that is. So because there are consequences for every action. It's called justice. It's God's justice. And so anyway, that's about that self-sabotage. You can decide not to self-sabotage anymore. You can decide to heal. You can decide to grow. You can decide to do the work. And it's beautiful. When you do, it's so gorgeous. It's just so beautiful. And you get freedom, you get love, you get fulfillment, all the things. Even without a person being there for you, God gives it to you. He fills you up. Peace, joy, all the good things. Okay? So it's possible, it's doable. You got this with God's help. Just you have to break down and ask Him for it. It's one of the caveats, right? So you got this, and I love you, and I'll talk to you later. God loves you too. Bye.